Today is a gentle class, which is focusing on stretching out the body in lots of different ways. Laterals, side stretches, front stretches, back stretches. The whole body is going to be stretched out. I've actually just done the session and it's really nice. But the theme is on trusting. It's about learning to trust yourself and your intuition. And I think this is one of the reasons why we don't sometimes listen to our higher wisdom, our Vijnanamaya Kosha, is in a way we've been conditioned not to listen to it. We've been conditioned to be more logical and more linear in our thinking and to discount the actual inner feelings, because wisdom is not about thoughts, it's more feeling. And in the class I did earlier on, we were having a chat and someone was saying, her name's Sue, and she was saying that she often listens to her intuition. And I said, well, how do you hear it? And she said, I don't hear it. She says, I feel it. And I think that is the key with our intuition. It's understanding what that feels like to you. And then when it happens, to trust, to learn to trust it. So slowly, slowly you change the way you make decisions. And so your discernment, which is part of your mind, this is where that decision-making takes place. It's within the mental layer. It hears or maybe senses the nudge of wisdom, but oftentimes it will override it because it might think, well, you know, sometimes you're driving and you just feel a thing go left. And you think, but I need to go right. You know, so it's whether you make that decision, actually, I will go left, and then you miss some traffic or something. So it's the more often you follow it, the more you might sense, oh, actually, it does support me in some weird and wacky and untangible way. So trust, that's our thought. So we're starting with legs up. And legs up wall, legs up bolster, legs up bed, legs up anywhere. I'm legs up bolster. So you choose which variation you want. And all you will need is a bolster for today and a mat. With those legs up, if you've chosen the variation I've got, you want the tail to hang gently off the edge, draw the shoulders back, and relax the arms by your side. If you're doing the wall, same thing, try and get a cushion underneath your lumbar area and let your seat rest with the legs up the wall. Why legs up? This particular pose is very helpful in bringing the energy of apana, which is the root, the ground, the stable energy, into the mind. It reverses the flow of apana, which normally flows downwards, and then brings the energy to the mind. So what you find after doing this for a little while is you start to feel more grounded and more settled, and that is the energy of apana. So when we're more grounded, more settled, it's much easier to listen to the wisdom that may or may not flow to you. So in this position now, start to relax the weight of your tail towards the earth, the weight of your sacrum into the bolster, the weight of your back and arms and back of your head into the ground. If you can, you close your eyes and draw inward. Definitely listening to Vijnanamaya Kosha is about being able to listen inward. And you begin to feel yourself becoming more grounded, more settled within yourself. Start to slow the breath down and add in Ujjayi breathing. Breathing in for 4 or 5 counts. And breathing out for the same length. If at any time you feel, you know what, don't really like my legs up for this long, it's okay. You can return your feet to the floor if you want to. And if you're by the wall, you can just roll over and come to your mat. But if you're able to, stay there for about another minute. In this moment in time, can you drop away all responsibility from your mind, all effort, all worry, and become carefree, present, and light-hearted? You take one more of these slow releasing breaths before releasing. So for those of you on your mat, bend the knees one at a time, feet to the floor. If you're on the wall, roll to your side lightly and make your way to the mat. If you're doing bolster, you lift the bolster away and place it to your side and lower your spine to the ground. And adjust your spine and tuck your heels a little closer to you. Tuck the chin in. We're going to do some gentle spinal rolls here. So without thinking about breathing, just pushing down into your feet. Slowly peel the tail of the floor. The lower back actually pushes down into the ground to start. Then you peel the vertebrae up one at a time off the floor. Imagine they're being lifted from the front line like puppet strings on each vertebrae, just lifting up one, then the other, until you're right up on your shoulders. When you're on your shoulders, you then float your arms behind you, long elbows, wrists, and fingers. And now those puppet strings release from the upper spine. You feel from the inside, the upper vertebrae drop down one, then the other, all the way, each one coming down. And once the bottom touches the arms, then release. So this is really slow. Don't worry about breathing. Push down, peel the vertebrae. Imagine the puppet strings on the inside of the spine lifting up towards the sky, one, then the other, until your shoulders are right there. Arms float back. Keep the arms behind you. Now let go of the puppet strings. Feel the vertebrae drop. Upper spine, one, then the other, all the way down. And then the arms release. Now we can add in the breath because we know what we're doing. So on inhale, you don't do anything. On exhale, push down and peel the vertebrae up. Slow exhale. Inhale, float the arms behind you. Keep them there. Exhale, vertebrae float back down one at a time. Take your time. Inhale, arms release. Exhale, push into feet. Peel the vertebrae. This pose really helps to loosen up the spine. Inhale, arms reach back. Exhale, vertebrae float back down. And inhale, arms release. That's it. Now hug those knees in. You're holding onto your shins and pulling your thighs towards you. Then push the knees away. Inhale. Pull the knees in. Exhale. Push them away. Inhale. Feel the pelvic rocking, but also feel the spine gently moving as well as you do this. One more time. Bring those feet back down and straighten the legs out along the ground. Bring that right leg all the way up, long and straight, hands flat down by your side, pushing the ground with the hands. And all you do is bend the right knee a little bit And then push the right foot up to the sky. So we're doing a bend to contract the hamstring as we inhale. Then exhale, push the leg to lengthen the hamstring. Inhale, bend. Exhale, lengthen. And last time, inhale. And exhale. Now reach up and hold as high up that leg as possible without the shoulders lifting or the head rolling. You could always use a cushion underneath the back of the head if you do find that head rolls. So we're stretching the legs. We're also stretching the muscles that line the spine and neck. And throughout each pose, the breath is mindful. You soften, relax into it. Giving that hamstring a slight added stretch by taking it a little bit to the right. So it's off center just by a small amount. And that will release the attachment under the sitting bone. So you'll find that you can go a bit deeper into it. And then release. Hug that knee in. And let's swap sides. Straighten the leg down along the ground. Left leg comes up, hands by your side. Straight leg to start with. Inhale, bend the knee. Exhale, push the foot to the sky. Inhale, bend. Exhale, push. And last time, inhale. And exhale and reach up. Hold on to the back of the leg. Both feet are flexed. Shoulders away from your ears. Breathing deeply. When we're tuning towards something slightly different, a new way of listening, it does stretch us a bit, because remember, when we're in Vijnanamaya Kosha, it tends to choose that which it's used to. So if you're tending to choose that more goal-orientated, scientific kind of linear mind, then starting to follow your intuition feels weird. It stretches you a little. Take that left leg slightly off center and give it an added tug. But each time you do listen to it, even start with small little easy things. Each time you listen to it and you realize its worth, its value, then you're willing to stretch even more in the bigger things. So a few more breaths here, really big stretch for the legs. And then float the leg down, or hug the knee in, sorry, and then float it down. Hook your thumbs and give yourself a full body stretch. Hug the knees into your tummy. Open the arms wide and take those knees to your left. Supine twist. Hold the right knee with the left hand and lightly tug the knee towards the left knee. And turn your head to the right, drawing the shoulder down. And feel that stretch through the side. And our wisdom sheath converses with us, through our yoga practice. It might tell us that we can trust the body and go a little deeper, or it might say, actually, pull back a little, try not go as much. So starting to listen to the feeling, the wisdom feeling of your body, and then listening to it. So doing what it tells you if you can. After this next breath, release the hold on the knee. Bring those legs back to center. And swap sides. Knees come all the way over to the right this time. You hold the left knee with the right hand and you turn and look to the left. Draw the shoulder down and breathe. After this next breath, head centers, and so do the knees. You hold the shins and you pull the thighs close toward you, adjust your neck so that the head is nicely connected to the earth with the chin tucked in, no rolled back heads. Then reach both arms back. Try and have the elbows, wrists, and fingers really long, so it feels like you're trying to touch the wall behind you without rolling your head. Now push the feet up to the sky. Squeeze the shins together. The feet are flexed. Push the sacrum, the base of your lower back, into the ground. And this is like a staff pose, but supine variation. So it lengthens the back muscles, strengthens the legs, and also helps to open up the shoulders and chest. Slowing down the breath here. After this next breath, slowly hug the knees in, squeeze them close. Roll to your side and sit up. Take a moment in sitting to really observe the experience. So closing your eyes. We've only done a few little stretches, but already there's a response in the body, in the energy, and in the mind. Learning to become more quiet is imperative if you want to listen more intently to that wisdom sheath. So not filling every waking moment with a cacophony of sound, but taking time to simply be with yourself and to experience that. Then gently open the eyes and we'll move to all fours. Spread out those hands. You're in a tabletop, knees under hips, wrists under shoulders. Cat stretch, round the spine, tuck chin, tuck tail. Inhale. Cow pose, lift heart, lift tail, look forwards and exhale. Add a lion's breath now. Inhale, round the spine. And as you exhale and look forward, stick out your tongue and look up to the point between the eyes. Do 3 more rounds, emptying out the lower lobes of your lungs. As you finish this last round, push into that cat again. On inhale, sink back to your heels. Child's pose, and walk your hands to the right for a lateral stretch. You want the elbows to be straight and you're reaching through the wrists. You've either got the hands flat on the floor or stack your left hand on top of your right. That's a little stronger. And rest the ears between the upper arms. Sink the tail back and feel the stretch through your left side. Let that breath be slow and mindful, which helps to develop that focus in your mind. And then over time, perhaps we filter out the noise and begin to learn to listen to the intuitive body. After this next breath, simply change sides. Try to allow your breath to be slow and mindful, particularly when it's a more restorative kind of practice like this, where we're not rushing around. So taking your time with the in-breath and the out-breath, and create a nice even balance between the two. From there, you pad back to center. Reach the fingers forwards as much as you can, then rest the elbows and the forehead down, feeling the big stretch across your back, your tail lengthening back, and you breathe deeply into the back body. Then moving forwards into all fours, tuck your toes under. Stretching out the feet is important. Sit back towards the feet, but you can have your hands forwards. And we can also stretch out the forearms, so flip the hands the wrong way around, so the fingers point backwards. So stretching out the arches of the feet and the forearms of the arms. Then if you feel confident with it, you try and sit on your feet to stretch out the arches even more. It's important that we actually stretch the feet, because the fascia, if it's sticky in the feet, no movement there, affects the whole body. So make sure you practice this arch stretch regularly. And now we return to the all fours and peel the knees off the ground into a downward facing dog. And the slow treading out is also going to be working through the arches of the feet. And let all your movements be slow and mindful, remembering that oftentimes the way we move is reflecting our mind. And many times we might be rushing or busy because we're so caught up in our own mind. So here we're learning to slow it all down. Drive the heels down to lengthen the calf muscles and the spine. Take another lion's breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Step the feet the width of the mat apart. Walk your hands backwards. Soften the knees, hold the elbows, hang the spine and sway, drawing figure of eights with the forearms. There's a feeling here of clearing the clutter of the mind. Nice slow swirling from side to side. Then you let the arms hang down the middle, hands to the floor. Turn the heels in ever so slightly to bend down the knees as low as you can go, and then to straighten up the knees. So exhale as you bend down. Inhale as you straighten up. 3 more times. The next time you drop into the squat, stay there, elbows between the knees. The more you practice that movement up and down, it actually frees up those hips, knees, and ankles. But, you know, squat can be quite challenging. So if this is really, really hard for you, you can use a bolster under your heels. You might hold the sides of your mat. You might be a bit rounded at first, but as you free up the muscles and free up the joints, you start to lift through the heart and lengthen your spine. And now the hands come down. You straighten up. Align the feet to the edges of the mat. Hold the elbows again, and once more sway from side to side. Release the hands and pad forwards like a wild cat in the jungle. Draw the feet closer together. Lengthen back in that downward facing dog. Take a breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. The right foot steps forwards, the left knee touches down. You might need padding under that left knee. I like to double up my mat. That's the way I do it. Keep the back toes touched under. If balance is an issue, you can pulse with your hands on the floor. Otherwise, hands can come to the hips as you pulse here, freeing up the groin, the thigh. Just a little bit of pulsing. Then you're doing a drive forwards with the toes. So you're pushing the hips forwards and reaching the left arm up, stretching into this crescent moon variation. Your right hand is on the thigh, pushing it so that the belly doesn't lean into the thigh. You're lifting away from the thigh and reaching up to the sky for this lovely opening through the left side. I will then get you to swivel sideways, but if you need balance, you bring the hands down, swivel sideways, and then bring the hands back up. So we've got the left foot swiveled behind the knee, the right knee over the ankle, and pulse, freeing up these inner groins and inner thighs. Make sure that you have padded up the knee if it needs it. Some people have more sensitive joints than others. And then you sink a little bit towards that right. Option 1, elbow to the thigh, tail lengthens, roll the ribs, reach the arm over. Option 2, fingers on the inside of that foot. It's a little deeper. Breathe into it. Sensing that this gate pose, representing that real willingness to open the gate to yourself. And then rising up, swivel back to the front and step it back. I'm actually going to turn the other way, but you don't need to. Step it back into downward facing dog. Drive those heels down. Take a big breath in through the nose. And a release through the mouth. Now step the left foot forward. Pad up the right knee. Keep the right toes tucked under. Option to keep the fingers down or bring them up and pulse it forwards and backwards. All those movements are slow and mindful. One more. Okay, so now you're pushing through from the back foot and reaching that right arm up. Left hand on the thigh so that the tummy doesn't lean forwards. So we're lifting away from the thigh and reaching up through the arm. Breathe into this crescent moon. The moon connecting us to intuition. Then release the arm. Either bring the hands to the floor, or if you can, you swivel to the left, or sorry, to the right. And you're swiveling the right foot behind the knee, and then you do the little gate pulses here. Nice, so really stretching out those inner thighs, then sink into it. Option 1, elbow to thigh, tail lengthens, heart opens, stretch over. Option 2, fingers to the inner foot. Everything else applies, it's just a little deeper, that's all. And rising up. Swiveling back to the front. Downward facing dog. Take a big breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Bring those knees down. Sit back on the pointy toes and become settled once again. Rest your hands on your lap. Close your eyes. And for a short while, again, return to this experience of being with yourself. Now, remembering that much of the time when we're with ourselves, we're actually caught up in the mind in some form of future thought, past thought, or emotion. And we don't recognize this. We're caught up in it, a bit like being caught up in a storm. But if there is that going on for you, and you have the ability to recognize that you're caught up with it, then start to notice that, here I am. Here's a bit of anxiety. This is what it feels like. This is what it feels like to be distracted. I've seen that thought before. I'm noticing the grip that causes in the body. So you start to become really mindful of what's going on in your mind. And as you take more time in your life in these moments of still reflection, you begin to have a deeper understanding of the nature of your own mind. And then hopefully be able to discern between thoughts that may be based on fear or wisdom that's based on the unknown. And then slowly release back to all fours. So moving in and out of child's pose and cobra. Moving forwards into cobra, hips down, heart lifts, inhale. Moving back to those heels, exhale. Nice slow movements. Inhale forwards, tail lengthens. You can slightly bend the elbows as you lift your chest. And exhale, pull it back again. So one more time. This time, as you pull it back, you're going to return to the all fours. So your hips are above the knees. For Anahatasana or puppy pose, hands walk forwards and now melt the chest down. Tail lengthens back, forehead or chin to the floor, but the bottom is not on the heels. You can actually tuck the toes if you like. It gives you a bit more of a root, and you feel the chest drawing down towards the ground. After this next breath, slowly lift the face and move forwards into a Sphinx pose. Lift the chest, elbows back, forearms rooting down, and breathe. So the pointy toes press the ground gently and the tail lengthens, creating a nice open line through the front of the body. Swivel the right forearm inward. Bend the left knee. Reach back with the left hand. Find the foot and pull the heel towards you. If you can't reach the foot, both forearms on the floor, but bend the knee, pushing the thigh into the ground. I know not everyone can reach the foot. Then release the leg. Come back into Sphinx. Lift the chest. Push through the wrists. Shoulders back. Breathe deeply. And then swivel the left forearm inward. Bend the right knee. Find the right foot. Pull the heel towards you. And release. Stack your forearms and your forehead. Flop the ankles in or out. They're about the width of the mat apart. Slowly wiggle the hips from side to side. And then relax. Again, becoming still with yourself here in Crocodile Pose. Taking 3 more relaxing breaths, feeling the face, the shoulders, the back, the hips, the legs, all relaxing. And then draw the feet closer, bring the hands under the shoulders and sit back up. So once you're up, bring yourself onto your seat. Come back into that cross-legged pose. Maybe, like me, you like a little lift. It's up to you. We'll do some small circles. We'll do a cross-legged forward bend to seal the asana practice. Circle the other way. And then circle back to center. Sliding into a cross-legged forward bend now. In this cross-legged forward bend, there's this drawing inward experience. And remembering that the Vijnanamaya Kosha is about being able to draw inward, being able to listen to how your intuition communicates with you. We're all a little different. But as Sue mentioned earlier in class, perhaps it's a feeling that you have. For some people, it might be imagery, thoughts. But drawing inward is necessary. Then from there, you rise up, you lean back, and you swap sides. And you circle those hips. Circle the other way. Back to center. Take a breath in. And again, slide forwards. Cross-legged forward bend. It's bowing inward. Slowly rising up. Shaking it out. I'm moving forwards now. So we'll do some pranayama here before relaxation. So find a comfortable seat for some breath work. I was going to do breathing in Savasana, but I know a lot of people actually fall asleep. So we'll do it sitting up, and then I'll get you to lie down. Okay, so sitting up nice and tall, remembering that the breath has an influence on the mind. So thumb and index finger lightly touch each other and the shoulders slide downwards, and you adjust in any way so that you feel aligned. As you close your eyes, you begin to practice Ujjayi breathing, gentle squeeze throat. You inhale for 4 and exhale for 6. Nice, gentle, smooth breaths. In for 4. Out for 6. Doing one more round like that. Now in for 4. Out for 6. Hold for 6. In for 4. Out for 6. Hold for 6. One more round on your own. In for 6. Out for 8. Hold for 4. Keep going. In 6. Hold 8. Sorry, out 8. Hold 4. One more. In for 6. Out for 10. Hold for 2. 2 more. 6, 10, 2. When you finish the last round, one more round now of 6 and out for 12. no holds. One more round. And then when you finish that round, you make a decision. If you feel quite grounded and still, you could actually choose meditation instead of Shavasana. You'll follow the same visualization either way. So it's up to you whether you lie down or stay up. But whichever way you are choosing, it's going to be 10 minutes. So the pranayama has settled the mind somewhat. And you find your position that you've chosen, lying down or sitting up. You allow the breath now to become completely effortless. And you sense the breath moving in and out from stillness. So you start to become aware of the movement of the breath, the movement flowing inwards, movement flowing outwards. But then notice where the movement is arising from. There's a little pause, which is fairly natural, just before you breathe in, just before you breathe out. And this is what you begin to focus on, the little gap between the breaths. If you ever played in water when you were younger, you might have played the game where when you exhale deeply, you sink naturally under the water for a moment. And it's much quieter. You can hear the crick of sea life if you're in the ocean, but if you're in the pool, maybe just a pump, or if there's no pump, it's very still. So try to notice the stillness in that gap. It's a quietness, even though the external world is noisy. The gaps between the breath is quiet and still inside. You're dropping into the stillness. And remember that the mind it's thinking, it drifts, it wanders, that's its nature. So whenever you notice it's drifted, you just bring it back to the breath and to the gaps and the stillness that the breath moves in and out of. As you continue with this, the focus will change very slightly. You're still watching the breath and noticing the gaps, but now Try to notice the part of you which is observing, becoming aware of the witness or awareness. Still sensing the breath, but now connecting to awareness. It's within that field of awareness that the wisdom sheath resides. This is where you can feel that inner knowing. You can stay with this for as long as you want to. If you have the time, you could stay in your Savasana or your meditation, or you could return to it another time. But if you need to come to an end, then you slowly start to deepen your breath. Rub your hands. Cup your eyes. And slide the hands down into breath. Seal that practice. Namaste. Thank you.